Hi, my wise astrology tribe. Welcome back to my channel. This is LunarGrace, and I am your co-pilot, Krisztina. Well, today I made a decision to do a huge geopolitical analysis right now, and I'm going to include a lot of countries. I wanted to do that a long time ago, and I have to admit, 3 months ago, I did an interview with Astro Victor, and actually I'm going to attach that part to the end. And it was about European Union, NATO, Orban and Magyar Péter, because we are Hungarians and we wanted to actually analyze the situation about the election. But then I was like, you know what? A lot of people is asking me to do analyze other countries in Europe as well. And I don't know if you're familiar with the movie, which is like Brad Pitt was one of the main cast over that Babel. So we know we are interwoven. Every single one of us is connected somehow, right? So geopolitics is very, very hard to understand sometimes, but I did a lot of research and also I did listen a lot of political historian, and political scientists constantly to do research for you over 5 months. I did numerology as well because sometimes astrology, I just wanted to make sure what is going on. And I also have to mention, I have a new book right now, which is, let me see, I have to turn off the back over here more, and let me see okay, where is it? The video effect. So I'm going to go here and video effect and none. For us, do you see that? This is the book of horoscope, Nicholas Campion. And I'm going to use that also for you because this book includes every single 192 countries on the world, okay? And it's also using going back to history and analyzing Jesus Christ chart as well. And, like a lot of politicians or, when the Berlin Wall got demolished and like inaugurations, for example, for political figures and falling of political figures. So I was studying this like crazy, and you could see how many notes and little notes I have in this book. I also did a lot of numerology. So I have no idea what I'm doing really right now. I just going to give you a lot of information if you want to study. Also, I'm going to timestamp everything because perhaps it's going to be again a long video and it could be overwhelming. And if you don't care about Orban and Magyar Péter, which I'm going to talk a lot about, or don't care about Israel and Iran, you can skip, you can go to your country and watch that. But definitely I'm going to try to be bias free, which is very, very hard, obviously, because you are a human and you have feelings. And if you see clearly, it's really hard. So that's what I wanted to mention over here. And I'm going to probably start with numerology. First of all, I just wanted to tell you what's going on in Europe because of Europe has and going to have 9 elections, right? Portugal already had it in January, right? And we're going to have election in Hungary April 12th as well. And we're going to have parliamentary elections in Slovenia and Denmark and Latvia, Sweden, Armenia as well, and presidential. We're also going to have it in Estonia, Bulgaria, Portugal, they already had it. So there is a total 9 major elections in Europe, which is very, very important numerologically as well, guys, because 9 is ending as cycles. And you will see actually when I analyzed, the Hungarian and also the NATO and the EU's numerology as well. We have a lot of 9. We have a lot of politicians who are ending their cycle. So yes, we have to mention that as well. All right, so we're going to go one by one, and I want to start actually with yeah, let's start with Orban and Magyar Péter over here. And I want to also include Trump and Israel as well and Iran. Why? Because as I said, we are interwoven. So Europe not only depend on the Russian and Ukraine war, guys, right? And if you would like to really study, political science, or I'm truly obsessed with history and politics as well. So I constantly listening and I make a correlation between astrology and numerology. So there is a constant research over here. But if you would like to, I really like actually, I think he's from Princeton, Jeffrey Sachs, and the other one is John Mason Mayer. Both of them are Jewish professors. One is in Princeton, the other one is actually not Harvard, but yeah, maybe Harvard. So they are amazing, but there is a lot of amazing, very, very intellectual, intelligent people. There is a Chinese guy, probably you saw that. Oh, I forgot his name, but he is um, coming to the podcast like Kim Iversen and Katie Harper all the time, that Chinese professor, and his analyses are absolutely amazing as well. I'm actually listening a lot of FBI, CIA analyst persons, but they are already retired because they knew what's going on, and they wanted to get away from those kind of structures. So yes, those are the ones. So let's go and sorry, guys, the last three videos, I'm so and I have to. You have to excuse me for that because I told you guys, I'm so fluent most of the time, and so my brain is not scattered. I have a lot of knowledge, but I usually I follow some kind of structures. But since Mercury went in retrograde in my sign, I'm Pisces, and I have Jupiter over there and a lot of asteroids. Somehow it's totally screwed me. I keep, like recording, and I'm losing between, and like the dog start to barks, and I have to finish it, and I cannot put that on social media. So this has happened with me, and never before. Mercury never really give me any trouble, but right now recently I realized it is just like I forget words and things like that. So forgive me for that and bear with me, because you can learn a lot and you can understand what is going on behind the scene. And I wanted to do that for you guys. Before I'm going tomorrow, I'm leaving and I'm going to Norway to see the Northern Lights with my family. It is just a week. Hopefully everything is fine, but I just wanted to have that before. And I also going to actually post a lot of things on Substack, what I've written before, financially as well. And some of you ask me, if the market still can actually show decrease. And of course, because we are in a war and the war can escalate, Iran not going to stop, right? So obviously the market manipulation from February, since Neptune Saturn conjuncted, there is a market manipulation over here. You will see, because of Iran stopped the Persian Gulf over there, like they don't allow the ships through. So obviously it's going to affect the gas. If the gas is going to go up, obviously everything is going to be a lot more expensive. It's going to affect the stock market. Yes, it will. But I told you as well, August 31st, 2026, when Saturn and Jupiter, and that cycle is very important in financial astrology, when it's going to trine, the stock market gonna go up again and it's going to be stable and nice. However, 2028, when we have Pluto and Saturn square, it's going to crash, crash, crash. Okay. All right, it is just the beginning. I want to mention a few things, and you will see what is actually the geopolitical issues. Why is it happening right now? And obviously, cryptocurrency as well. You see how volatile it is. The thing is, Bitcoin, yes, it is affected by the Epstein file. I told you 2 years ago, Bitcoin totally could disappear, but before it's still going to go up. The American government has 280,000 Bitcoin mined in their portfolio. So, it's not just going to disappear yet. And they connected with Rothschilds and Epstein file, obviously, so it's not yet. But, and it's still going to show an increase. All kind of cryptocurrency will actually start to go up after April 26th when Uranus is going into Gemini. So you have to know that. All right. Okay, and then we're going to start, with maybe, yes, I'm going to start with Orban. And Orban and Magyar Péter, I'm not going to show the chart for them, the astrology chart, because of I'm going to attach the Victor video and we were talking about them really like lengthily. So I'm not, but I'm going to analyze the numerology for these people. And I'm going to go one by one, like all the, to understand what is going on with other leaders as well, interconnect with, Middle East as well. And then I'm going to go to astrology. Okay, so what you have to understand, and I'm going to talk about astrology. I'm going to share the chart of some countries. Okay, you can see, and what do I see? And I want you to actually tell me in the comment section. What did you see over there? Do you think it can unfold differently? Because we are analyzing, we're trying to analyze the market, going back to historical parallel. What's happened when these two what is that planets aligned and merged together? So I need to know. Also, guys, I do understand a lot of countries has like 7 different astrology charts. I went most of the time with the Astro Team chart, right? But for example, Hungary also have like 7 chart. French has like 7 chart. Usually in this book, what I showed you, I'm going with the last chart. But if you want to see the chart on my computer, I'm going to go with whatever AstroTrim shows over there. But, or I can also open up my book and say, okay, the latest chart says this, this, this. So I'm going to analyze a little bit that one as well. So that's the only way I can, because I didn't take pictures and I didn't, put that on. All right, let's go. So let's talk about Orban first. Orban was actually Orban Viktor. He is, the politician, and he is the president of Hungary, right? And he was born actually May 31st and 1963. So if you want to understand, first of all, the Hungarian political system and what's going on and why they hate Orban, and quite frankly, I'm not biased over, I mean, I am biased also over here. I don't like him at all because he is actually, he's a leader for 16 years right now, okay? His part is the Fidesz. So what happens over here, he changed during the 16 years the constitution, and he taken control of many media outlets, right? He is using propaganda, and also he reshaped everything in the judicial system as well, modified the election laws as well, because he is allowing people to vote who is actually in rural countries, so who are, Hungary after triathlon lost a lot of area. And, Transylvania was part of Hungary, but right now Orban, for the last 10 years, to keep his position, obviously allowing, people who are Hungarians but live in foreign countries to vote. Okay, so that is one of his very strong, position. But definitely, so he's got strong rural support. And, he's also anti-immigration policy as well. And he is friend with Putin because he is relying, and Hungary relying on Russian gas and oil, obviously, so he has to be. But also he is a friend with Trump, and he is adoring Trump like crazy. And Trump is obviously America, who founded NATO, and NATO during the years always wanted to expand and go closer to Putin, to Russia's border, and Russia hates that. Okay, so that is very contra indication over here in geopolitics as well, and that could be very hard to understand sometimes. But yes, so this is what is happening. He loves Trump and he adores Trump, and everything is Trump. Trump want to push forward, obviously, and all American politicians want to expand NATO, want to get closer to Russia. Why? Because of they see what's going on. There is two parties, two big parts right now: the Western countries, which is the European countries, and obviously Israel and America, and the other one is the Russia, China, and Korea and Iran. But right now they created the BRIC nations, and there is 20 countries. So that's why we have to talk about all of it, even if we are talking about European politics, to understand what's going on. And NATO want to expand because they want to weaken Russia. Obviously, they want to have their military base close to the Russian border, and Putin not going to allow that because they are easy then to actually take over Russia, right? So that they protect themselves over there. And the other thing is, I don't ever ever support any kind of dictator. Actually, quite frankly, I hate politicians because of, there is no clean cut and good politicians so far ever. And don't come up, with anti-Semitic things like I am an anti-Semitic if I say something about Israel and analyzing charts, or, if I have feelings for people who are suppressed and oppressed, because this is Bologna, okay? So stay then with your comments, and you can scroll on. You don't have to watch me. I want you to learn. That's what I want, and I want you to get ready because you see what's going on. 2 years ago, I started to predict that it's going to be a major war. 2026, it's going to be a major ship, guys. Be careful, and make sure your loved ones are protected, and your finances are protected, because of it's going to be something which we not necessarily wanted, and actually not the regular Joe like us, right? Because we don't want war, we want peace, and we want to have, live in peace and happiness and enjoy life. So just then please scroll on, and just don't give me hard time over here, because I really try to um, help. So obviously that's what's happening. So there is the European leaders, and right now, what you can see also in the media, Europe also get divided, because Spain and all the Norwegia, Scandinavia, all the Scandinavian countries, Norwegia, Finland, the Swedish as well, and Spain, and some other countries, even Switzerland, guys, opposing Israel attack on Iran and the whole entire Middle East issues. They don't allow Netanyahu to cross their country. Slovenia was one of the first country who said, okay, if Netanyahu go through, or they don't allow them to use their airspace as well. And go across the country. So they are opposing right now. So they are divided. You just have to know that right before we start anything, any numerology or any astrology over here. All right, but then let's go back to Orban and Magyar Péter. So Orban was born May 31st and 1963. He was born in Hungary, right? And his life path is actually numerology 1. So he is the commander. He likes dominance. He likes to control the narrative. I go first and I don't ask permission, kind of. So he doesn't want to collaborate whatsoever. He's the founder energy, the authoritarian, right? The shadow side of the one, when you understand numerology, is paranoia, and also, obsession with legacy as well, and inability to step aside. And his birthday is 31st. Obviously it's numerology 4, the birthday number. So he's the enforcer, the architect, the builder, building system, control structure as well, and loyal only to his mission. Whatever in his brain and his mission, that's what he is loyal for. And in numerology, we have pinnacles as well, which is meaning life chapters. And we have the first pinnacle. For him, actually, it was ideology and revolution. And I do remember I was young when Fidesz actually got founded. The very first time when he became a president, and use democratic coalition, and I was so into it. I was so, oh my god, this is the right things to go. And actually the belief system and the ideology over there was really, really amazing at the beginning. So the second pinnacle for him is numerology 4, which is, yes, I'm going to have strict borders. I'm gonna control. I'm going to actually start to build, but I also have to have a lot of regulation. I'm gonna make sure that it's going to be a lot of walls, right? So I'm not going to allow people to see through, or other countries to control. And the third pinnacle number, again, 4. So that is repetition, repetition, repetition. What I started in the second pinnacle, right? It's doubling down, doubling down. I'm evolving. And the fourth pinnacle, which is happening right now, it's legacy year. So I will be remembered, or I going to burn down everything, because it's pinnacle number 1, just like his life path, right? And in numerology, we also have challenges and karmic numbers as well. And the main challenge actually is numerology number 3 for him. And it is communication, truth, and adaptability. So the messaging obviously going to become rigid, and it's already is. The human disappears. So when he started, he was very humorous, and he was young, and and seeing the truth. Right now, propaganda is replacing the dialogue, right? So he's not able to step aside authoritarian tones, for example. And obviously, the personal year number right now, it's numerology 9. So he is ending a cycle. From May on, he going to have end of May, June, he going to step in numerology 1. But the election happens on April 12th. And 6 weeks before, he would go into the 1. So numerology 9, usually it's ending, it's karma, it's loss of control, loss of narratives over there, right? So it's also a lot of international pressure, and there is a lot of international pressure with Orban, because of he lost after the Ukrainian war, he lost a friendship with Poland. The Western European countries are absolutely hate him. The European Union, he wants to actually weaken the contract with them and step out somehow. So obviously there is, a lot of international pressure, and it's erosion. The numerology 9 is like ending something, distancing myself, distancing, because of the old strategies. The old strategies are stopped working right now. So that's what's happening. It could release power, and it could be very hard. Actually, numerologically, I am also in numerology 9 right now. My only saving grace, I believe, I have my perfection year, Jupiterian, which I like, and Jupiter on my moon, and there is a lot of other thing which is good for me, but 9 could be very, very hard, like losing control and ending, and just, it could be saying goodbye to something what we were cling on to so hard, like the rope what you're holding on, and you have rope burn because you cannot let go. So that's what's happening with Orban over here. He cannot step aside. And the personal year 1 is going to start from May 31st. So it's June. So that is totally a new cycle. But why? The numerology 1 cycle could be really good to build something, to manifest something, but it could be very dangerous with the life path 1, because of, it is like very aggressive reset, very aggressive politics. power grabbed, right? It is like, okay, even if Magyar Peter going to win, I'm not going to allow 6 weeks later, I can initiate some kind of, civil war inside or start a war or something just to stay in power. Who does that? Trump does the same, and Netanyahu does the same. And, during actual history, you see a lot of dictators and politicians whenever they needed to go to prison, because obviously if Orban going to end his presidency, there is a lot of corruption and he could go to jail, right? So yes, this is the numerology one when the ego is amplified, and there is a lot of masculinity. Numerology one, like that's the sun in astrology. It's like I want to shine, I still want to shine, and I'm not going to give up control. Yes, so this is, it's some kind of forced aggressive energy after May 26th. So, a revolution. Maybe, maybe it could be also a hard collapse of authority as well, because maybe he is the one who doesn't let go of in numerology 9 control, because he's not allowing Magyar to take over, but people going to recount the votes, and then they are going to remove him with aggression, because they know he didn't win. It was a cheat over there, and they find out, and that's what's happening. So it's not going to be easy for Hungarians. And I'm so sorry about that, guys. I'm really sorry. But yes, so let's see what's going on with the pattern, the year 9, because the year 9, what we were saying, it's end something, and it's a decay, it's an exhaustion, right? And the transition is, he can actually ignore warnings, because of when you are transiting from 9 to 1, that's what's happening. When you're transiting also Uranus, that's very important, to Gemini, that's when we happened Second World War, that's when we had a lot of revolution, a lot of civil wars, right? And what's happening right now, we're transiting from Taurus to Taurus to Gemini with Uranus as well. So that's what repeating itself, history repeat itself when the astrological aspect is same in the sky. Again, numerology 9 to go to 1, the shadow side is they ignore the warning, the decay, exhaustion, right? They cannot go further because of the military is not good enough, for example, in some countries. And they are, their strategy, military strategy, are the same like in the 90s or 80s, and it's not gonna work anymore, right? Um, Yes, so the fall, the shadow, the fall of transiting to 9 to 1, it's, death and disgrace and fall from grace. And I'm going to mention a few of other politicians over here who actually lost control when they were transiting from 9 to 1, and that was Richard Nixon. And he also had life path 1, just like Orban has. And when he had that transition, the fall was triggered for his, right? The Watergate pressure, paranoia, information leaked, Uh, so he actually started to panic, and result was like resignation over there. So it's very, very parallel with Orban, because Nixon also had life path 1, and we have to do that. We have to count that as well. Ceausescu, guys, when he got killed, Ceausescu also had life path 1, and the fall was triggered when the year 9 transited to 1. He got killed then. So then when the economic collapse, he was publicly unrest and publicly actually executed, right? So the other one is Slobodan Milosevic, and he did have the numerology life path number is 11, which is decrease to 2, but usually we use the 11. But okay, let's see the 2, which is more like moonlight and more feminine and disillusion, right? But he was falling also during the year 9 transiting to 1. Because there was a lot of sanction and international isolation as well, and denial the consequences of the forced propaganda, and the result was, okay, a death in custody, right? So that's what's happened with Milosevic there. Um, all right, and then Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher also was the one. However, she did have numerology life path 8, so he was very powerful woman, but she also followed when 9, numerology 9 transited to 1 because of ego, because of they are not capable to step aside. They refuse and push harder and harder, and there is no wisdom whatsoever. And that's when they obviously, the stronger leader could come in, and they mislead the cycles, and then they done. And the other one also, so for example, Orban, life path 1 is hates endings, right? He had repeated 4 pinnacles during the 16 years, which is rigidity and addiction to the system. And then the year 9, no, it's pressure, and the year 1 is actually temptation to reset power. So instead of releasing, I can do it, I want to do it, but then if not, then I'm going to burn down everything. So that's what's getting in his way, and that's how it's going to work out for him. Also, I wanted to mention Putin over here because we're talking about Europe altogether. And guys, Putin actually was born October 7th, 1952, and then we were talking about and I reset his astrology chart. I did a ratification for him. However, I also did a ratification of AstroSeek, the twins, because they are really, really good with ratification. But I have my degree from Chris Bernan, and he's definitely a Scorpio rising guy. So yes. And yes, so October 7th, he is Libra, and he has a life path of 7. And life path 7 is the strategist and the survivor. Okay, so they are intelligent, they are behind the scene controlling. So they are, so for example, if you see Putin, you see him all over. He's a dictator. Okay, but he's not that flashy like Trump. Trump wants to be all the time in the news and just talk, talk, talk. uh, Over here, the life path 7 is intellect, and also, long psychological games. Life path 7 is almost like you are doing a chess on the board. So they are very, very strategic. And, you know, as I said, I hate all dictators. I hate all people who are suppressing other and oppressing others. But I want to do actually, and check both of them, Putin and Orban, together over here, because Putin also has a numerology 9-year going to 1. But what's the difference over here? So he's controlling and invisible control behind over Orban, who wants visibility, right? And low dominance and narrative ownership as well. All right, until Orban is not for example, prosecuting pedophiles, just like Trump doesn't, Putin does. Putin is, okay, we're going to castrate them, chemical castrate, or maybe going to actually execute them. So there is a lot of differences over here. So, okay. But the major difference, the core difference in this matter is Putin has a life path 7 and Orban has a life path 1. And when it comes to Putin years 9 going to 1 and Orban years to 9 going to 1, it's totally a different game, because Putin in life path 7, he can withdraw, he can wait, he studies, His surviving is to disappear a little bit, be behind the curtain, until he going to get more strength. But Orban is like, no, I want to be visible, I want to be seen, I want to declare, like comment and declare victory, even I'm not victoring anywhere, so I'm not um, um, in a victory position, but I going to change the narrative over here. So what's happening over here? For example, Putin's survivor tactics in year 9, it's like changes the battlefield and reframes losses and strategy. Okay, he going to sacrifice other to preserve himself, right? And what is Orban over here? Orban is actually the pressure going to be visible. Alliances is going to disappear for him, especially in Europe. Uh, they are in the same storm because the year 9 is the same storm, but they are in totally different ship over here. Um, yes, so why Putin pressure gonna get internalized, Orban's are not. Okay, so it's just not holding up because of his way too proud. All right, and what is the danger in the year 1 for both? um, Putin in year 1 going to actually use his proxies and expand influences, avoid, for example, symbolic humiliation. That's why he is many times behind the scene. He talks, he's there, but he has that kind of very reserved presence, and not Orban. Because Orban announced resets, he is using propaganda a lot. So that's what's the difference over here. So, for example, one uses silence, Putin, and accept isolation, that's also Putin. Orban doesn't use silence and doesn't accept isolation. All right, and then we're going to go a little bit further, and I don't want to, like talk about Putin and Orban in this numerology anymore, but I do want to talk about the opposition, which is Magyar Péter. Magyar Péter has a Leo moon and a Pisces sun, guys. I felt very close to him because I have that astrological placement. Okay. Uh, all right. But Magyar Péter was born March 16 and 1981. He's young, and he is actually has a master number 11, which is decreased to 2, right? But 11 is an angelic number. It's a master number. He's traditionally not the strong man over here because 2 ruled by the moon, family member, the messenger, the bridge between people. He been sent to awaken people. He's the disruptor of the narratives. He has to disrupt the urban narratives, right? He is not the builder of regime, like because of Hungary is a hyper regime right now. They say it's still democracy and parliamentary democracy, but it's illiberal. So, and it is a regime after 16 years and it's a kind of hybrid regime because everything is controlled by them. All right, but what I want to say over here, and what is the shadow, because the 11, the master number also has shadow as well, and that is actually the emotional volatility, and he can get very, very overwhelmed quickly. For example, he's not strong to fight right now. He has a lot of followers, and Tissa actually is over 55% the voters on him, and 38 on Orban, even with the rural areas. So we will see, and the rest of it doesn't vote, but we will see what's going to happen. But that could be actually a major issue over there. His birthday number is 16 because he was born on March 16, which is 7, right? And 7 is actually a karmic number, right? Um, so um, he is, for example, could have some kind of public humiliation. They try to do something and frame him somehow. And I can see that absolutely because of he is a family person, and he's very honest and very martyr-like as well, because the Piscean nature is very martyr-like. But also, people who has numerology 16 as a birthday number, they are going to destroy the old myth, and they are going to also expose all the rat in wherever they go, in the structure. And because of their personality, they are become credible, but before they have to actually have some kind of public humiliation. So I can see that right now what's happening over here. And he was born March, which is numerology free, the third month over there, which is speech and narrative and communication. He speaks very well, definitely. And the seven undertone over here, because the birthday number is 16, that's seven to decrease. There is a lot of, moral inquiry. He has values and morals and integrity, but because of the Piscean placement also, he can get isolated and overwhelmed very quickly, right? And sometimes people who get in position, they have to have a thick skin. So I'm not sure, his numerology to life path, I mean, master number 11 is capable to hold that, thick skin over there. All right, so his pinnacles, life chapters, is the first pinnacle number was free. So it's a lot of, training and studying and study maybe law or media. I didn't get into that, what he did study, but the second pinnacle number is, identity break, separation from previous alliances, detached from the old system. That is his 30s over here. And right now he's 45. So he's in the third pinnacle number. Structure building phase. Okay, so he just starts right now. Uh, he just starts some kind of legacy right now. So obviously, with this election, he can start a legacy at this moment. All right, but let's see what other things we can talk about that. He has a personal year right now. One, because you are. Let me see. So that is 3 and 16, which is 10, which is 1. But okay, but then the universal year is 1 also right now. So that is personal year 2, what he has from March 16. Yes, yes. So it's negotiation, alliances, uh, he can become a serious national force, but also the shadow, he can get betrayed. So he really have to choose alliances very carefully, because of he can get betrayed or he can get imprisoned somehow. That's what I see. But the karmic cycle of the birthday number of 16, which is decreased to 7, many times it representing like the enemy, like the opposition is underestimate his karmic backlash over here. So yes, he could get in trouble with some kind of framed, narrative over here, but he survives because of he has actually a lot of people behind him, and the backlash is going to be very strong against the authoritarians, against the recent control. All right. So, if I check the two together, Orban and Magyar, the life path is 2 for Magyar. Peter, which is actually Hungarian, Magyar is Hungarian, that's his name, so it's funny. And Orban's life path is 1, authoritarian, and he is more like family and emotional, Magyar Peter, right? So Orban likes hierarchy, and Orban like to centralize and also tighten and dominate. And Magyar Péter is actually, the one who is a destructor of the narratives. So that's what it is over here. Yes, so Magyar Péter has the year one already from March, right before the election, which is some kind of ignition to a new identity. And Orban is still going to be in year nine. So that's the difference between them during the election. All right, so that's it. Then I'm going to go a little bit further over here, right? And I don't want to go all into like yes, mid-late actually, mid and late 2026, Orban became very dangerous with that kind of life path one because of he can somehow create some kind of civil war inside in Hungary to take back power or not letting go of power, something like that. Okay, then we're going to go and we're gonna go further. And, because of the recent political situation with Maduro, with Israel, with Iran, with Trump, and how is it influencing Europe as well. We're going to talk about that because obvious, guys, if everything is stopped, the gas not going to Europe and the oil stop going, the prices are high, it's going to pressure the governments. And what I see, and I'm going to show you in astrology, a lot of countries has Saturn Neptune opposition either with the king, the sun, or the midheaven, the political party. So because of the war is escalating, I believe a lot of countries are going to change politicians because they will need to, because there is going to be a lot of social unrest in Bulgaria, in Romania, in Hungary. Like I will show you the charts. But we have to talk about, politicians over here. I'm not going to on Maduro right now because of, he's already in prison. I predicted this, but I'm not going. I want to go actually forward and let me see my notes over here because it's going to be very, very long. But I want to go to Trump, for example, because of his birthday data is June 14, 1946. Okay, so we're going to analyze Trump because he is in the stage every day and talking and don't stop talking whatsoever. All right, so his life path number is, if you add together the numbers, it's 4. Okay, the birthday number is 14, which is fifth. So the karmic death actually is numerology 5. The birthday month is 6, and the birthday year is 2. Okay, so we're going to actually see this, and the 4, which is over here, the life path number, adding all the numbers together, then he's also the builder over here, the planner, right? But the shadow side of the 4 is who is very stubborn and has issues with controlling and difficulties to trusting in half, for example, as well. So yes. So that's the life path number over here. But the karmic depth, which is very, very important, like what is the karmic depth? The karmic depth is numerology 5. So it could be impulses and it could be like, the numerology 5 also could bring in pleasure as well and self-sabotage as well. Uh, so the gift of the numerology 5 over here, which is the karmic depth, which is the birthday number itself as well, charisma, and he's very charismatic. He has the it, right? That's why he won first time. And they are street smart, not smart, but very, very street smart, and they are capable to manipulate people as well. But the shadow pattern is obviously, have that like, I am doing things and I can do any kind of risky things because I deserve it. and addiction pattern. But he says he doesn't drink, but obviously he has a lot of other addiction. It doesn't have to be substance. It could be gambling and sex. We know he is in the Epstein file, and his name is appeared more than Jesus in the Bible. Everybody says that. So, all right, you do with that information whatever you want to, but that's what's happening over here. Um, so the birth month number is 6, and 6 supposed to be Venetian, in astrology. It's supposed to be, duty and family. And maybe he is, because of his legacy to leave behind for his kids, could be the family over there. But the Venus is the real yin and yang in astrology, so it has the Lucifer, um, the morning star, and the yin and yang really Venus. So Venus could be very very seductive and very negative as well. It could become Lucifer. So I would say in his chart and in his numerology, the birth months of 6 over here, it's representing Venus dark side over here, representing the claim he, he actually sexually abused a lot of women, right? The shadow side of 6 is guilt, which I never would say Trump ever have guilt, but or it could be also rescuing people who don't deserve it, giving because I want to be adored, I want to be loved. So it doesn't matter, whoever gonna adore me, I'm going to rescue them. And who is also right now the life chapter, the big seasons of life, the pinnacles for him, and he is in the last pinnacle, which is numerology 8 for him. So authority and material mastery. And as you can see, he trying to gain from his what is that? Presidency. So just grabbing money and try to gain as much as he can, and also the legacy over here. So that is his pinnacle, the fourth pinnacle, his last life over here. Yes, and his challenge is, also he's in his last karmic challenge, which is obviously numerology 4, which is health issues as well, and no discipline whatsoever, and it is structure or crumbling at this moment. All right. What's going on in his personal year? Let me see. So June 14 and 2025, it was numerology 2, but right now he is going to go into numerology 3 from June 13 on, right? So he's still in numerology 2 personal year. And it is actually going to bring in issues with alliances, right? So a lot of countries going to drop America and going to drop Trump as an alliance. So that's what's happening here. Okay. And then let me see. And I'm going to have check his astrology chart. His astrology chart is very bad. Very, very bad. I told you guys before, but we have to interview all of the, politicians over here. So yes, that's why I have to analyze that. So then we're gonna go actually a little bit further, and the karmic shadow actually for him with the numerology 5, creating the karmic debt, which is his birthday number, is he's the engine of the chaos. So appetite for money and attention and phrasing, and anything to do with thrill seeking as well. That's why the warmongering. You will see those old privileged men who is in leadership right now. They all of them above 65, and they are not willing to give away their power, but most of them are 80 or above 80, and they bloodthirsty for war, for destruction, because of obviously war brings in money for them with war stocks, right? So yes, that's what's happening right now. Yes, so impulsive speech, loud and over-promising, but not actually keep that promise. So that's what's happening in his karmic death right now. And then we're going to go a little bit further, and we have to check right now. What did I put over here? Yeah, let's check Netanyahu. Netanyahu is October 21st, 1949. You see, all of them are so old. And his life path number is 9, right? And then the life path is, he is the survivor, the myth keeper, and he is actually the myth keeper. And look at him. He is a dictator. How long he has been in power? And absurd. They're telling it's democracy in Israel, and maybe really they want him for somehow because of if you check the mentality and the polls in Israel still today, I just checked it a few days ago, if they think Gaza deserves to be bombed, like 70% of the country, of course, the other 30% are suffering, guys. So there is, I don't know if you ever read my favorite, Vas Albert, about the wars. He was a Transylvanian, Hungarian novelist, and he was actually writing about the First and Second World War. And his books are phenomenal. You can get it in English or probably right now any other languages. And he always said, the general public are always suffering. And that's the truth is, like there is no country where everybody is evil or everybody is a terrorist. That, like it is just like um, we really have to separate that and try to be logical over here. But yes, what's happening over here and Netanyahu and Israel, yes, a lot of people supported him. Right now, a lot of them are protesting in Israel. I'm watching the news constantly. I have friends from Israel, actually, a lot of friends, and most of them who are against Netanyahu, they stayed and remained my friend, and a few of them who said carpet bomb them, I actually stopped being friend with them because it's not. I mean, I just can't. I just can't. It's not a justice. How can you justify something to kill children? Doesn't matter where you are killing them. This is Bologna. This is bullshit. I'm not going with this narrative. I'm done. I'm done with this propaganda. So yes. So what's going on with him over here? So yes, Netanyahu has the life path of 9, and he is very strategic, right? And he is like, okay, he has that kind of permanent war consciousness because 9 is like ending, 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 and I don't want to end. So I primitive, right? So I have to act before they act against me. The shadow side of the life past 9 is, absolutism and inability also to step away from conflict. It's the 9 and the 1 together, and martyrdom complex as well. I have to carry the burden to be your president. Look at me. I don't really want that, but I have to. That's what was Trump's slogan also right now before he get elected. But yeah, so that's, rhetorical mastery. And, the birthday number actually for him, because he was born on the 21st, it's free as well. And he is an orator, he's a strategist, he is, someone who does propaganda, for example, or influence media or control media, for example. Ability to speak to fear, not necessarily facts, but fear. Tell a story actually of danger, and that's how he is gaining control, right? So manipulation of the language, that is the shadow and repetitive narrative as well. So the attitude number is, which is like the months and the day together, is 31st, because it's the month is 10th, October 21st, right? So it's free, and then one which is numerology 4, and in this case he is the commander. He has a certainty, a dominant presence, hierarchy first. I decide, and then if I want to explain, I explain. If I don't, I don't. And also intolerance as well, right? That's what it is. October, his birthday month, is numerology 10, which is decreased to 1, which is I am fixated on legacy. I want power. I'm power hungry. I'm status quo is very important. Authority, it's very important how I will be remembered. I want to remembered in history like the, you know, Alex the Great or whatever. So I want my name to be remembered and always brought up in history as well. He's also in the last pinnacle right now because he's over 70. And, it is actually numerology 6, which should be, like love and family and peace and harmony. But as I said, it's representing Venus, and Venus has a Lucifer side, control mask as care over here. So he is also, just like Trump, putting the mask on of care about nation and family. That's the narrative. That's, I have moral responsibility. But behind the scene, when the mask is not shown, actually, I am Lucifer over there. So that could mean, the shadow side of Venus, definitely. All right, and let's see what's going on here. So he is from 2025. We were talking about that. He is also numerology 9 as well, and going into 1. Let me see. No, let me add it together. So that's 12 and 10 and 21. So month's day, that is 4. And then 2025 was 9. So if I add together, that's 13. Okay, so that's 4. That's personal year 4 from 2024 till 2025. Yes, and then 2025 till 26, his birthday is 5. Okay, all right, yes. So what's going to be over here with 5? That could become really uh, um, a chaos, very, very war zone like the 5. It's fighting, impulsive escalation, and international backlash as well. So his narrative totally going to lose its grip. So he not going to be capable to hold on to that as well. He will lose control right now from birthday, from 2025. October 25th, 21 till 2026, October 21. Yes. All right. So let's see what's going on over here. The with the Trump, Orban, Putin, Netanyahu, if you're going to compare them, Trump has actually, the birthday number over here, the life path number and the karma number is 4 and 5, which is appetite and ego. Orban has life path 1, which is rigidity and control. Putin has a life path 7, which is actually survivor and secrecy, and Netanyahu 9, which is world logic and destiny and legacy. All right. So we're gonna go a little bit further over here, and we can analyze Israel as well, because we can go to Israel and Iran a little bit right now. So Israel, May 14th, 1948, and Israel is have a life path. It has actually a master number 22, just like Iran though, and they are the master builder of state, right? Uh, but what's going on over here with this builder for the country, the master builder? So the country is building under actually impossible condition, and they are survivor through institution and not popularity, obsessed with borders and defense as well. And then the expression number of Israel is five. And how do you get that? You are get that from the May and the birthday date, which is 14, and you add it together with 1948. It is actually, like five. Um, so 1948 is 22, right? That's the builder. That's the four. And then the birthday number over here, the 14, which is five, and the other one is also five. The May is which is like one, so that becomes 3 plus 2, which becomes five. Yes. Okay, so the life path over here is actually five for them, not four. Because of the four is the master builder, because they were undertone of 1948, so they become the master builder there, but the life path is actually five. All right, what's gonna happen over here? So the five, it's like we always have to move. We cannot stay still. It's something to do with conflict-driven evolution. Five is really connected to wars and chaos and restlessness and global attention as well. If you are talking about countries, but in general as well, never reaches normal, for example, and always breakthrough crisis. That's what's happening here. So that's, also the birthday day is the 14th, which is also five. That is the karmic depth over here. Freedom has consequences, obviously, instability and survive were going to be tied to resistance. And eventually is going to have a lot of backlash because they try to overreach and they try to push boundaries too far as well. All right. And yes, the birth year, the 1948 is the master number 22, which is the numerology for over here. And which is the nation believe they are meant to exist and interpret actually survivor as validation and struggle to soften once hardened. So, but that's why it could bring collapse for them as well. All right, so let me see. Israel also in the fourth pinnacle right now, which is numerology 9, as well, which is like global moral pressure and questioning their legacy. So they're going to have a lot of backlash and they're going to receive, unresolved karmic loop over here. Yes. All right. And then let's go and move forward a little bit, a little bit forward here. Let me see the personal year. They're gonna go into, they went into year one on May 14, 2025 until May 13. So that is definitely as aggressive assertion of identity. We decide the future of everyone now. And then they're gonna go in year two in May 2026, which is they have to negotiate a lot. There is going to be, like dependence on others and losing alliances. Um, so, huh, yeah, overreaching in year one, and that's why the correction going to be very harsh for them in year two from May on. And if we overlay the numerology with Netanyahu over here, and Netanyahu has a life path number 9 and Israel entered the year one, it's both of them are actually operate on destiny and survivor. So, and escalated chaos there, both of them. All right, and then let's see something else over here. The karmic loop, maybe we can check the karmic loop. No, that's too much then because I'm going to talk like 10, 15 hours and I don't want to. But I want to go actually a little bit further over here. I do want to actually talk about the karmic cycles because of the national year of Israel, 2026 and 27, May till May. It's like, like diplomacy pressure as well, and going to lose alliances as well. And the national year three, which is 2027-28, is the messaging of war and the global narrative battle and media and law over here. So they are going to bring the IDF soldiers to court, and they're going to actually most likely put them in prison. But I'm going to show you the astrology chart of Israel in 2029, guys, and I see something very bad over there. Okay, so Iran also have the national year from 2025 till 26 for, so there is actually consideration and internal order, and they are not in rush. However, Iran is not in rush, and that's making them to survive because I checked the numerology over there. And let me see, where is Iran? Let me just actually find my notes for you guys and stop that for a little bit. How do I stop this? All right, I found what I wanted to say over here. I went to the Islamic Republic, which is Iran over here, April 1st and 1979. So life path is four for them. Okay, so they are actually master number 22, and also the current cycle is four as well, from 2025 till 2026, but only until April 1st, right? And after that, they're gonna go to four. So, what's happening over here, they are also the master builder, but where Israel builds through speed and military agility, Iran builds through actually ideology and patience and endurance as well. So Iran is willing to wait, guys, decades even to outlast an opponent. And also because of right now, the national year four, it's something to do with consideration and internal order, which is like, okay, we can harden the infrastructure, we can harden our military, and if the conflict going to become visible, we are going to be able to backlash. But 2026 and 27 enters from April 1st, the year five, which is disruption and escalation. So unfortunately, this war is not going to be over. And then Palestine is declared November 15, 1988. So the life path is seven for them. And the current cycle is nine, unfortunately, until November, right? So they're going to have a very hard time still. And, I'm going to show Palestine astrology also. They have Pluto on the moon. So, like more devastating death for them. But the seven itself, it's a witness state. It is surviving through memory and testimony and moral presence rather than institutional power, right? So the identity rooted in family and land and ancestral home rather than abstract nationalism over here. So yes, actually, Palestine going to survive. You will see after November 15, 2026, a lot of countries, European countries and countries around the world going to reset their structure, and they're gonna actually say, yes, Palestine is a state and they have to have their government and everything. So it's coming because they're going to enter a numerology van year over there. So that's what I wanted to say. But yes, so Benjamin Netanyahu is life past nine, going to, but year four, entering year five, personal year. And then Israel is life path. Hmm. Let me see. The birthday number. Let me recalculate that again. I think I made a mistake over here. Yeah, Israel is life path 5, but the master builder is coming from the year they were like established in 1948, and that was very important. Uh, but Iran's life path actually is 4, and Israel life path is 5. So that's the difference over there. And then we're going to go actually to check the European Union, and we're going to check NATO for a little bit here. And the NATO was founded April 4, 1949. So that is the life path also for over here, if you add together all the numbers, right? And yes, so that is 441 and 1949, 31. So yes, life path is 4 for them. So definitely pure defense, hold lines and enforces rules, And right now they are actually let me see, 2000, so that's 4 4. So it's April 4, 2025 till 26. They're going to be in year 8, but from 2026 April 4, NATO gonna go to year 9, and NATO going to have actually a lot of exposure and cycle of fatigue over here, public questioning, like because of it's supposed to defend and it's not supposed to actually increase, and allow this kind of war situation right now what's going on the Middle East, so not necessarily going to be sustainable NATO, especially with the BRIC nations against the Western nations. And then we're going to also go to the European Union, and the European Union is November 1st, 1993. So the life path is 6 over here. Yes, obviously, the life path, they wanted to create its communication, it's have connection. Mercury rules the life path free, right? And actually, or I mean, the free, no, it's not Mercury because it's the Sun, Moon, and then Jupiter. But actually, the year free, let me see, life path 6, so that's Venus. And the current cycle until 2026, November 1st, is personal year free. Okay. And that rules the third house. So definitely it is connected with communication somehow and connected with, how to transit, for example, goods from other countries. So that's very important over there. And the narrative, uh, who is it going to be translated, for example. Uh, but the European Union going to suffer in 2027, guys, 2027 and 28, they're going to have a personal year 5. Yes, and that is going to collapse the European Union. So I think a lot of countries are going to actually, it's going to dissolve the union somehow in 2028, and it's danger for them between 2027 and 28. It's a lot of threat and a major political shift for sure, and collapse and destabilize the European Union. All right. Right now, I'm not going to talk about anyone else here. Yes, Palestine is still going to suffer, and that is definitely a different builder strategy for Iran than in Israel, because Israel does have the life path 5, which is war, war, war. But 1948 is the builder, right? And Iran has the life path 4, which is like strategy and stability and waiting, as long as I have to, to survive. And there is a lot of strategy there. Yes. And I did actually a samurai table over here with Orban, and Orban is life path 1 with year 9 going to 1, ending phase, risk of dangerous overeat. Magyar Péter is life path 2, year 1, becoming actually unavoidable and emerging. Trump is, there is a karmic loop over here for him, but he's also going from June into the year 2, is which is no, right now he's in year 2 until June 26. So he's getting louder and reckless. And Netanyahu year 9, no, life path 9 and year 4 going into 5. So it's bunker mode, loss of control for him. And Putin life path 7, long endurance, right? But also he's year 9 and going into 1, so he's withdraw and he going to be behind the scene a little bit. Yeah, I do have Maduro over here, but I don't want to talk about Maduro. Um, yes. All right, let me see what else we can talk about. Let's see actually what is that? Countries, and I'm going to share these countries with you. Let me see, coming here, and I don't even know what country is that, but let's see. Bulgaria. All right, so I'm gonna share Bulgaria with you, okay? First, and then we're gonna go one by one here. Okay, as I said, I use AstroTeam, so definitely Bulgaria also has a lot of other, charts, and check it out. Buy the Book of World Horoscopes, guys, because that is like absolutely amazing. But AstroTeam made a chart for Bulgaria October 5th, 1908. And let's see this chart over here where they have a Sagittarius ascendant. So that's the first house. So what can we see over here? What we see, Saturn and Neptune, they're going to have a Saturn return, right? And in the fifth house, and it's going to oppose their Libra sun really soon. So a lot of countries has that very quickly. So this is going to bring in actually change in their government and a big change. And then you can check also, when, for example, what else is happening over here. They have also an Aquarius moon in this chart. Pluto is going on Aquarius soon. It's going to oppose in the ninth house. For example, Pluto. So maybe, I don't know if Bulgaria into the European Union or no, but there is actually an issue with the EU right now. So they might going to want to actually step out from the union if they are in. That's what's happening right now for them. Yes, and then you can check actually the other major, but is that transit as well. Uranus gonna go to their seventh house of open enemies, and it's going to oppose the ascendant. So it's going to bring in a lot of demonstration and actually a lot of social unrest for them as well. And somehow Bulgaria also going to change alliances. So changing government and changing alliances, that's for sure. It's happening. And because they have a 17 degrees Neptune, there is something to do with their treasury, their money at this moment, because Jupiter is transiting over here in the eighth house. So I don't know, something to do with their currencies, and inflation is going to affect the country. Then we are going further, guys, and I'm going to actually show other countries for you. So I'm gonna go here, and what country is that? It is going to be Romania. I know Romania has other chart as well, but as I said, I'm going with the AstroTeam chart in here, what I want to show you guys, which is February 3rd, 1862. And if you want to, I can also check Romania over here. because somebody said, Christy, that's not right, the right chart. It is the right chart, one of the right chart. Okay, I have India over here, Hungary, Hungarian democracy, Germany, Ghana. It is just like, am I gonna Greece? Am I gonna find it or no in matter of time? So you can actually benefit from this or not. France, okay, Fiji. Arab Federation, Finland, all right, Estonia. Okay, maybe I just have to go through these guys, but then you're not going to see the chart, and I just wanted to show you guys the chart. Czech Republic also here. Let me see if I send Croatia, Romania. Okay, okay, China. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Uh, Bolivia. Oh, come on. Belgium. Come on, Romania. Where are you? Australia, Austria. Okay. I don't find Romania over here. Maybe further down. Um, Iraq, Kazakhstan, Jordan, Kenya, Lithuania. Let me put Lithuania here. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go with this Romania, whatever I found over there. Because I just don't want to waste over here time. So in this chart, actually, we do have, like Saturn um, on their moon. So it's going to exhaust the people. And they also have Saturn and North Node, which is in the 10th house. That is the government squaring. So their government also going to go under structure. And that's for sure. And Pluto also going to go on the sun very quickly, going to conjunct. So there is gonna be a change in their leadership as well for Romania very, very quickly because Pluto gonna reach 9 degrees this year. And Saturn is on the moon squaring North Node, definitely going to make a change in the government. They also have a Uranus return in this chart, so that's also a lot of, social unrest. It's bringing in social unrest as well. So yeah, I just gonna go with this chart, guys, because as I said, there is 7 different chart, and I want to be consistent with the chart over here. This is what is this country? That's Denmark, actually, Copenhagen, right? So let me see Denmark over here. They have an Aquarius ascendant, so that's the first house. Mind it, it's Placidus, and I like to do whole signs. So Aquarius gonna make the first house, right? And then Saturn and return in the third house for them. Their midheaven is in Sagittarius. Uranus is going to actually go on after April to Gemini, and it's gonna go up to also 7 degrees. So it's already going to conjunct with the king over here opposing the midheaven. So them are going to have a lot of protest as well, and they also have a Saturn return as well. So it is like policies changing, for example, in education. There is some kind of educational disturbance or some kind of issue with law. And because ninth house for them is Libra. As I said, I'm doing whole sign astrology. Just click your mind over here. So they're going to have Denmark going to have issues with education and maybe foreigners overwhelming, the education system, and they're going to have also some issues with justice as well. And because 11th house is Sagittarius for them and the midheaven is there, and then Uranus gonna oppose that, going to need a change in judicial system for them. Yes, but Saturn return is going to create some kind of infrastructure issues and maybe export-import issues because it's opposing the ninth house. So export-import issues. They're gonna have also a Jupiter return the same time when they have a Saturn return, and it's in obviously it's in air, not air, it's a fire sign, and it's going to create eventually grand trine and fire grand trine for them. So, and then let me see. So, seventh house, 11th house, and third house, it's with open enemies. And yeah, so it could be because it's Mars involved over here. It could be some kind of false flag operation there. And especially because Uranus going on the Sun, it could be some kind of military action against maybe the kingdom or, and, Denmark is, the ruler of Greenland. And obviously, Trump really wants to have Greenland. So I'm wondering if there is going to be some kind of opposition against the Trump regime, and that's water, and that's fire. Grand Trine is like, okay, let's go to war against, because we don't want our kingdom to actually fail because some other military actions over here. Yeah, let's go further and let's go actually to Uranus. Oh, Uranus. What am I saying? That's the astro theme over here. And let me see, I'm going to pull myself down here so I can show that. Who am I talking over here? United Kingdom, guys. And you can see the United Kingdom has a very early Uranus and ascendant in Libra, and Saturn Neptune is opposing in it. They have the midheaven in Cancer, right? So Saturn going to square with the midheaven. The midheaven is in 9 degrees. Obviously, over here, the kingdom also going to suffer. They're going to change, the government. A lot of resign going to happen over here. Pluto is actually which house is in that? One, two, three, four, five. Pluto is in the fifth house for them, opposing Jupiter in the 11th house. The judicial system is changing. Leo is the king, or it's the princesses. So actually, Pluto over there, they're going to put Andrew, and going to put a lot of judges or whoever connected with Epstein file. It's going to become public, definitely. But the change in hierarchy, not hierarchy, change in monarchy as well. And I believe right now when Saturn going to be squaring from Aries to Cancer midheaven, there it's going to be William going to take over and Charles going to go. But there is going to be a lot of social unrest, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune opposing, right? So it's going to be military force on the street in United King in England as well. So that is definitely an issue here. So as you see, the unrest is escalating everywhere in Mexico, in everywhere. I checked the charts over there. So this is who is this? This is actually Belgium. Let's see, and let's see Belgium over here. So by this chart, it is 1830 October 1st, 4th and Brussels. So let me see, they have a Capricorn ascendant, Jupiter is on it. It's very stable, right? They have a Scorpio midheaven and a Libra sun. Pluto is in Aries. Saturn gonna go on Pluto really soon. It's opposing actually the Libra sun over here. So there is a major change over here also with the actually Belgium prime minister. So this could be like it's a death of a prime minister because it's squaring the ascendant and Jupiter, and it's creating a T square, right? And it's going to be triggered by Saturn Neptune. So it could be like the prime minister over here, it's going to be either removed or going to like resign the prime minister, or a death of a prime minister over here. So yes, I can see that happening for Belgium. Let me see and let me go further because we are really into this and we are very far behind by time. And I have to pack my luggage here. So we are Portugal. Portugal has actually the election in January, okay? And let me see over here. It says October 5th. Oh, It's 11:43, so it's actually this chart is going back for a long time. Birth path number in numerology is 6, okay? Water, air, and fixed 10, 9th, and 11th house is very dominant, and Sun, Jupiter, Venus. All right. All right, so yes, the sun is in this chart actually conjunct the midheaven. The ascendant is very late degree Sagittarius. Actually, it's 27 degrees, which is on the, oh my God, I forgot the word I'm telling you guys. I gonna remember that word. Okay, so. So let me see what's gonna happen over here. They have Pluto in Taurus. They have Leo moon. Huh. Sagittarius rising. So the moon is in the ninth house. Yeah, Portugal actually became, and Jupiter gonna go there. So their inhabitant going to increase. And because of nine houses immigration, a lot of people going to migrate actually to Portugal. I see that happening right now for them. And Uranus gonna go to the seventh house, open enemies. Obviously, there could be some kind of, hopefully not terror attacks, I hope, but there could be. They are also changing alliances. Maybe they're going to, have alliances with Spain, which is making sense. Spain is against Israel and America, and against all kind of genocide and war. So probably that's what's happening with Portugal over here as well. But that is a lot of immigration coming into their countries. Also, North Node is in Leo for them in the ninth house. I'm doing whole sign, guys. So just change the chart over here. So Leo is the ninth house for them. So yeah, that's definitely going to be an issue there, immigration policies. And let me see, so they have a very heavy influence of Scorpio. Uranus is exalted in Scorpio, Venus, Neptune, Mercury over there. Pluto is in 23 degrees. Taurus right now, Uranus is actually transiting until April 26, 2026. So definitely it's opposing natal Uranus for them. So it could be an issue with military and military operation, something happening on the land of Portugal, what they didn't actually wanted. But it could be an explosion, and it could be a forced flag attack over there, or some kind of things what they never wanted. And they also have a Saturn return coming as well, and it's in the fifth house. So that is something to do with mm, in areas. So they're military, they might going to draw in young children actually to their military somehow, or maybe they're going to make military, like mandatory somehow. That's what could happen for the Saturn and the youth, because fifth house is joy and youth and sport league, and they can bring the military from the youth and withdraw mandatory military. But I think they have mandatory military. I'm not sure about that. Check it, please, and let me know. But that's something to could happen right now because Uranus is on Pluto, and accidentally some kind of airplane crash over Portugal, or something like that. But they can use their air to cross some kind of military airplanes, and it could create an accident. Okay, let me go further over here. And let me go and go to the other chart here, which is actually Spain. And Spain has a lot of chart, guys. And that is actually Barcelona, Spain, April 7th, 1249. And, this is one of the chart, but Spain has like tremendous lot of chart over here. In this chart, they have a Leo rising, the moon is in Aquarius, Pluto is going over there. Like they also have the midheaven and Sun conjunction in Aries over here. Okay, so when we going to have, so we have to check something to do with either Libra or something to do with Cancer or Capricorn. They do have Jupiter and midheaven square here, and when Saturn gonna come up to the midheaven and Sun in 2 years, it could create the opposition party to win in Spain, for example. And then because they have a Leo rising, they have Pisces in the eighth house, right? And immigration, Saturn, Neptune in the ninth house, they could have and bring in a lot of very, very strict immigration policies. What I was reading about Spain, they have enough from immigrants and they don't want any immigrants coming in. They want to lock the borders. It's overwhelming for them. So Saturn Neptune could actually indicate that, and they still going to have issue with something to do with gas because we're gonna have a lunar eclipse in August 28 in the eighth house for them, which is oil and gas, and because of they are not willing to cooperate and tariff as well, and the US put a lot of tariff on them, right? So that could happen, unfortunately, to Spain. In this chart, they have an early degree Mars in Pisces and Uranus very late degree in Aquarius, but they coexist over here. And because of the North Node is going to, I mean, yes, North Node is moving through this area, and we're gonna have an eclipse in August 28 in 4 degrees. It's gonna be very close to Uranus and Mars conjunction. And the last eclipse, the solar eclipse, also happened over here, and that's open enemies. So it's obvious they can get attacked somehow by Israel or America or open enemies. They're gonna bring in, they're going to have definitely some issues with open enemies, and they created right now new alliances, and they don't want war. And because of that, America became an enemy, and tariff going to be its eighth house, right? Pisces for them, obviously. Uh, More tariff for them. All right, let me see what is this over here. What chart is this here? It is another chart because I didn't find a chart for what country is this. Oh my God, I forgot, right? So maybe I won't be able to analyze this chart. Let me see. Slovakia, are you gonna be able to? Okay, that is the very recent Slovakia chart here, and they have a Libra ascendant. So the moon is in actually Aries, and Saturn is gonna go through moon very quickly, really soon, opposing the ascendant as well. And because they have Mars also in Cancer, Saturn is also squaring the ascendant over here in the 10th house of government. It is a public opposition of the government, and some major issues with the government. They have Uranus, Neptune, and Sun in mid degrees of Capricorn. So there is gonna be a square with Saturn over here with open enemies, right? Saturn in the seventh house with Neptune. So there it's going to create a grand cross, if you can see over here for Slovakia. So Slovakia also changing, establishment, and maybe the opposition government going to come in right now. But yeah, definitely. Saturn, Neptune over here, squaring with Mars and squaring with Uranus. So that's definitely going to, not just yet, it's gonna be around in 16 months. So Slovakia still okay until 16 to 20 months. It's going to be a huge disturbance in their government there. And then let me see over here what else we are talking about before I start to Poland. Actually, Poland is on the side of Ukraine, right, against Russia. Orban, what I started with, obviously, he has a fallout with Poland right now. All right, so let me see. 1918 and November 14. This is from Astro team over here. Poland also has a lot of chart as well. That's why I said, guys, buy the book and do the charts. Like all the 7 charts. Check all the 7 charts, but buy this chart over here. They do have actually a Scorpio midheaven, so Poland Poland until Saturn not gonna go to Taurus over here. It's still stable there. Their administration. They do have a Capricorn ascendant with Mars conjunction. So because of we have Aries and Neptune coming into the fourth house. There going to be some kind of issue with the homeland security and homeland protection. It could somehow escalate the war on Poland areas, the land of Poland. They can have and attacked by some kind of stray missile, for example. So that could be, devastating for Poland because it starts the transit Neptune Saturn is in the fourth house, which is ending and funerals. It could be like, yes, some kind of stray missile could go on and it could bring them into war, pull them into war for some reason, somehow. But the establishment still going on for a while, at least for 2.5 years, and then it will be changed. It's the opposition party going to win then after that, because they pulled into some kind of conflict, some kind of war over there, what I see for Poland here. All right, let me see, and let me go to this country, which I don't know what is it right now. Let me put that. So this is Lithuania. Okay, so they have a Pisces rising, guys. Second house is Saturn Neptune transiting right now, and yes, and then the eclipse is happening still in Pisces and Virgo. So the last eclipse happened in the seventh house. Open enemies here, right? And Jupiter gonna go for them to the sixth house of Leo. Sixth house is military and also, anything to do with coalitions as well and public health as well. Jupiter in the sixth house is not really good, so it's gonna go on Neptune, Saturn, which is a restriction. So they might going to get restricted with some kind of pandemic. Lithuania somehow or some kind of military action gonna go close to them, and that's why they going to also be pulled in, or maybe just their air forces or air places going to allow to have some kind of military base on their ground over here. So yes, it could happen with Lithuania. So if they have a Pisces ascendant, then Gemini is the fourth house, which is the land. When Uranus is gonna come here after April, they definitely going to have some kind of social unrest in May. So people going to be on the street and they going to protest in Lithuania as well. But definitely because they don't want any kind of military base, they don't want to get pulled into any kind of war. And or maybe because of they gonna have some kind of pandemic or something, an outbreak somehow coming from there, and they don't want to have restrictions. Saturn, Neptune over here. Neptune is pandemic, right? Virus, and that's why it's going to have some kind of social unrest over there. Venus they have in Aquarius, it's opposing Neptune, and Venus is in the 12th house, Pluto going in the 12th house. Yeah, that could be some kind of hidden, political offshore accounts, the public going to find out and they're going to protest against it. Yes. All right, let's move forward from this country. And let's move forward to what country is that? I don't even, Sweden. Let's see Sweden. I have a few Sweden clients and friends, and they said it's not what it was before. They used Sweden was really good with uh, socialist democracy or democratic welfare, but they said, and they wrote me right now, it's not what it was before, and I totally understand. I don't live in Sweden, so I listen to you guys. And yes, so that's what's happening over here. They also have a Gemini Uranus, so they're going to have a Uranus opposition right now, Virgo being actually in their first house and not the 12th house because I'm doing whole sign. That's why the homeland is going to be Sagittarius. So because of they have a Uranus return opposing the land over here, there is definitely going to be another unrest. Then Uranus gonna go up to 9 degrees this year. Mercury, the narrative is changing of the government. Might be propaganda. They're going to have a lot of demonstration, not necessarily civil war, but Sweden is going to go through a major change the next 7 years with the government and with the political ideology as well. Look at that, the Uranus transit over here on this stellium as well, and. Saturn being actually in the eighth house for them, Saturn, Neptune. So there is going to be also some issues with the debt, with the treasury, with the country's debt, and people going to find out where did they spend the money, the politicians, and it's going to bring in some kind of unease and some kind of social unrest there. Mm. They have a huge stellium in Pisces, and Saturn was over here. So they actually had a very harsh 3 years, Sweden. But right now, thanks God, it's going away, even if it's going in the eighth house and they have to restructure all the, mortgage system and the national debt system, and they have to start to pay off debts right now. But I think it's going to be a lot easier because Saturn Neptune is actually going to sextile with their natal Uranus and Uranus return. And Uranus in Gemini, anyway, it's a lot more. It's better than in Taurus, obviously. So this sextile over here going to create opportunities for them to pay off something that there. All right. So let me see here. What other country? Let's see Italy. Yeah, because I never talked about Italy. Italy also doesn't want any war, have enough from Israel and America. So I just watched their president lady, and I was like impressed with them. So a lot of country doesn't want to be, bring in. So this chart is from 1147, July 13th, so going back far. But in this chart, they have the midheaven and sun in Cancer. They have an ascendant in Libra in 20 degrees. So obviously, Saturn Neptune going to oppose the ascendant when Saturn going to actually square midheaven and sun. So this lady who is a politician, a president right now, not going to be the president in 2.5 years. Because of by this chart, it is squaring with the midheaven and sun and opposing the ascendant in 2.5 years. So that it's going to be a backlash there, obviously. And the seventh house is for them actually Aries guys, not the sixth house because they have a Libra ascendant. So go by horse sign because it's closer to the Sibly chart all the time. So it's they going to have a lot of the open enemies could ruin actually the recent politician who are in who are president right now. And then if I go there, so ninth house gonna be for them the Gemini, and Uranus gonna transit their Saturn over here, which is something to do with their Christian temples and Christianity, and the leader Saturn, the leader of Christianity. Uranus over there could create some kind of major issue, some kind of devastating issue with Pope Leo. So, or maybe they're going to get attacked somehow. Some kind of Christian temple could be attacked, guys. So it could be a false flag operation, obviously, because open enemies, right? Saturn Neptune is in open enemies. Yeah. So it could be false flag operation. All right, let me see. Pope Leo also talking about, the craziness, what actually uh, America and Israel bring us upon us. Who is this? It is actually Turkey. All right, let's talk about Turkey. Have a lot of Turkish friends, and it was 1923, October 29. Turkey also have a new word chart as well, obviously, but going back over here, they have Pluto and ascendant in Cancer, and they have a very late degree Gemini moon here. They also have Saturn in Libra and Mercury conjunction there. Mars is in Libra and Saturn Neptune is going to oppose Mars here. And if they have a Cancer ascendant, then they have to have, so that is ninth house, 10th house, and 11th house. No, 10th house is yes. Let me see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, okay, the midheaven with Uranus is in the ninth house for them, but 10th house is the government in Saturn, and Neptune gonna go over there and opposing Mars in Libra. So it could be actually an attack of Turkey also somehow, and attacking the government, the Turkish government as well. They might want to take out actually somehow the president of Turkey really soon as well. They have in this chart, they have the sun in Scorpio, early degrees. So the Pisces eclipse over here, August going to trine with this, what we have in August 28th. So it's still going to bring in some kind of help for them, especially because of the ascendant is in Cancer. Okay, but yes, that Saturn Neptune opposing Mars, it's some kind of military action, it's some kind of betrayal on the land, it's some kind of, bomb on the land somehow. Um, and let me see, Pluto is in Aquarius in the eighth house. It could be some kind of a seismic issues over there, eruption or earthquake. Um, and it's squaring with the sun. So yeah, there could be some kind of earthquake uh, for Turkey, especially after May. So after May, I can see some kind of issues with earthquake for them, which could have a high death toll. But also because of eight house rules, mortality and money and debt of the country, and also military as well. Uh, and it's squaring with the sun and squaring with Uranus, there could be some kind of military action happening. And because Mars and Saturn, Neptune by transit opposing Mars, it is on the land and they will justify it. So they're not going to stay still and justify they're going to fight back with that saying on. And actually, it's investing in military. You investing in drones or like nuclear uh, facilities somehow. I don't know if Turkey has nuclear power or not. But I can't know everything. And what is the last one over here, what I brought up? Croatia. Yes, I'm not going to go further, guys, because I just can't do that anymore. Let me see Croatia here. And this chart is from June 25th, 1991, Zagreb. And they have actually a moon in Sagittarius and ascendant in Sagittarius. So they have the Cancer sun and Mercury in Cancer. Right now it's in the eighth house, not seventh, because I'm doing whole sign, as you know. They're gonna have a Jupiter return, which is positive in the ninth house for them. So let me see, Croatia. Okay, and right now Jupiter also could bring them opportunities for. They're gonna support families, mortgage and house buying. Croatia could go actually through a positive change. and Croatian families and paying off, debts, for example, national debts as well. Hmm. And there, midheaven is in Libra, but late degrees, so Saturn is not affecting them until 2 years, 18 months, 2 years. Yes. Libra is actually their 11th house, and Pluto is the 12th house in Scorpio for them. Um, and the moon is in Sagittarius, late degrees, conjunct with the ascendant, but also because of they're gonna have a Jupiter return and they have Mars and Venus conjunction with Jupiter, trining with this moon. It is definitely bringing opportunity. People going to visit, it's good for actually. What is that? Traveling. And they are bringing money through. People want to actually travel to Croatia and visit Croatia. So yeah, that's good. Croatia is actually somehow going to be in better position than other countries. All right, guys. I don't know. I feel like I was talking a lot over here, and definitely I going to put that I stop sharing here. And I definitely going to merge it tonight with Victor's video where we were talking about NATO. He has a different opinion about Orban and Magyar Péter. But that's why I brought in numerology. And that's why I wanted to also escalate that to Israel and Trump and the US, because we all interwoven over here, and to understand what is really going on Earth. And by the way, anyway, numerology year one, that could be aggressive, not initiation, ignition, but also the fire horse. Chinese horoscope, whenever we had fire horse, it's so fast, it's so fiery energy, it's so rapid, it's always every 60 years we had some kind of major military conflict around the world. And don't forget, Neptune Saturn is adding to it, so stay safe. Make sure you are having your tribe, you can talk to people, you are a decent human being, you help on others, and if you against, if your intentions are actually good, then your soul doesn't have regret over that. That's why I keep saying try to chant for peace, pray for peace, even if it's very hard. Justice and fairness and kindness. And there is always going to be evil, but I truly believe Trump was meant to be a president in the US because of the Epstein fire came out. And we see the influence of a foreign country in America right now, and how is it actually influence the whole entire world. And because it cannot be unseen anymore, and we are capable to go against totalitarianism and autocracy and oligarchy and tech oligarchy especially, and backlash, palantir, surveillance. So we were born to fight against these guys and just stay, a normal, decent human being who has values and morals. And the most important is I understand I have biases, and everybody has, as I said, but what I see, because I'm going to my Buddhist group, and a lot of people is really pro-Trump and, like pro-war. Well, I'm not pro-war, not pro-war, but we all somehow chanting for peace. And doesn't matter who we reach peace, just reach peace. Doesn't matter who did you voted for, but the most important thing is to actually want to have peace on this earth and to help others. And then we are good. All right. Okay, guys. I right now not gonna say bye because I actually going to put Victor's and mine video over here, and then I going to put the timestamp, and you can check, your countries if you want. Um, I talk to you later. All right.